There we go. I guess we're live. Okay, thank you. And Vanessa, we're okay on that end? All righty. Everybody ready to start? I will call to order regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, March the 4th of 2025. We welcome everybody who's with us. I'll note that Commissioner Sanada is attending a conference of the National Association of County Officials in Washington, D.C., but he's able to participate by phone this morning. Speaking of phones, if you have a cell phone with you, could you please put it on silent or vibrate? We'd appreciate you doing that. And we'll note that this meeting is being live streamed and also recorded. We always begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we would ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. And Commissioner Kennedy, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you please remain standing, we'll have a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. Vanessa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Sinata,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Vogler.
Here. We do have a quorum. We always have time during our meeting for public comment, both in just a few moments from now and then also prior to adjournment. If you do have a comment, we ask that it be related to county government matters. If it's a state matter, we suggest you talk to your state officials, likewise federal, and likewise if it's a local municipal issue. But if it's a county-related issue, you're certainly welcome to make your comments. Again, in a moment or two, and then before we adjourn, you're welcome to speak both times. If you just want to speak once, that's fine. Or if you're just here to listen, that's also fine. And if you could try to limit your time to about 5 minutes or so, we'd appreciate that courtesy. We always set aside time in the agenda for any of our row officers who might have an issue to bring to us today, but they're not obligated or required to be here, and today we have no row officers with us. So that does take us to item 3 on the agenda, which would be public comment. If you do have a comment, if you could state your name for the record, and then we're here to listen. Any comments at this time? Hearing none. Okay, thank you all. Next on the agenda, and these documents that we'll be talking about, they'll be available for anybody who wishes to see them. I generally keep my packet and give it to Debbie Walker from the Newcastle News, but we do have other copies available. We have 3 warrant registers from the Comptroller's Office that have been submitted to us, dated February 24, February 26, and also February 27. And it's a listing of the bills that have been paid. I'll give Dan and Chris time to look them over. And gentlemen, whenever you're ready, I could accept a motion for us to accept these documents.
I'll make a motion to accept the documents.
And I'll second Dan's motion.
Okay, thank you both, Dan and Chris. Do either of you have any concerns about the warrant registers?
No.
Okay, thank you then. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes,
Motion carries.
that noise you're hearing in the background, someone pushed a door open that they shouldn't have. It's an alarm that was supposed to go off when the door is open, so somebody wasn't supposed to be there. That's what that noise is. The motion does carry for acceptance of the warrant registers. Also in our packet are the minutes of the meeting that we held last week, which was on February 25. Again, Chris and Dan will give you a moment or two to look them over, and whenever you're ready, I could entertain a motion for us to adopt the minutes.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes of February 25th.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen, both of you. Do either of you have any concerns about the minutes? Hearing none, then thank you. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you, Vanessa.
Mhm.
Next on the agenda would be commissioner reports and comments, and today, Commissioner Sanada, you get to go first.
Well, I'm gonna save my comments for next week, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that's very fine, so thank you. Let's see, looks like I'm next. I do want to note a couple of things that on tomorrow, as a matter of fact, the Lawrence County Conservation District Board of Directors, I sit on that board, I represent the commissioners on that board. They will be holding their monthly public meeting at Ryder's Restaurant in Wilmington Township at 12 noon tomorrow. That's open to the public if anybody wishes to attend that meeting. I'll also note that, and I think it's on the agenda later, but the Lawrence County Planning Commission will not be holding a public meeting this month. They had no business to be brought before the board, so there will not be a planning commission meeting. And then finally, the Board of Commissioners will not be meeting in public 2 weeks from today, the 18th of March. That coincides with our spring conference of the State County Commissioners Association, which will be held in Dauphin County. My fellow commissioners will be attending, both Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Sanada. I generally would go, but I've been summoned for jury duty that week, so I have to stay here and do my civic duty. But I appreciate that both Dan and Chris are going to represent us at that conference. So there will not be a commissioners meeting on the 18th of March. That's all I have, and I'll turn it over to my colleague, Mr. Kennedy.
The only thing really I have is, this weekend I had the first of 5 Eagle Scouts for Wilmington's Boy Scout troop, Evan Richardson, got his award. We have another one this week. And there's 5 of them out there this year that got the awards. We went there, and the only other thing I did is Voland Fire Department had their annual pancake day on Saturday, and it was very well attended.
Is their sausage as good as it usually is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even I ate a piece. I should have, but that's okay. It was a good weekend.
The upcoming Eagle Scout ceremony this coming Sunday, it's a young lady, from what I understand. So Chris, are you able to go, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think all,
I'll be there as well.
good. It looks like all 3 of us will be able to participate. So Dan, thank you very much. Under new business, we have a couple proposed resolutions. Vanessa, this first one, what number do we give it?
48.
Number 48, and it's from our recycling office, and Megan Garing is with us. Megan, do you mind coming up to the microphone? Welcome. It's always nice to have you here. And you're going to talk to us this morning about glass recycling, and the resolution spells it out in good detail, but could you advise us as to what you're asking of the board?
Sure. This resolution is to enter into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Resources Council for their traveling glass bin program. Same as we've offered in years past. They bring in a glass recycling container for a collection event. Last year we had 2 events. This year we're only proposing 1 event. Because we have received funding to be able to offer this program on our own throughout Lawrence and Mercer County. So we won't have to contract with PRC in the future to be able to offer glass recycling in our counties. Cost is the same. They are giving us an additional week. So it'll be a 2-week collection period. It will take place the week after Memorial Day. The exact dates are May 31st through June 12th. And that'll be here in Newcastle.
And specifically, will it be at the site where our blue bins are up near the jail?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
the location that That's
For the
correct.
glass, okay, good. Nice thing about that, it's centrally located. It's about almost equal distance from southern end to the northern end of the county, or east and west.
Right.
Now, the resolution we're looking at today is specific to Lawrence County. Do the Mercer commissioners do a similar undertaking?
That is correct,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Obviously, we can't contract for them or vice versa, so.
Yes, we've gone to the commissioner meeting and they have signed the agreement as well.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to see if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions.
Nothing at all. Just, you and Jerry do a lot of running back and forth, I'm sure. Keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you. Commissioner Sanada, any questions for Megan?
No, they was quite thorough.
Thank you, Chris. I assume in terms of getting the word out about this, you'll probably have something on the recycling website or the Facebook page, that sort of thing.
Yes, we'll have the details posted on the Lawrence County, Mercer County web pages. The calendar's been distributed to all of our municipalities.
Good.
We'll also post it on the Facebook page, we may have already. So yes, we'll send it out to the media as well, to try and get the word out.
Great. I appreciate that very much. So this resolution would allow the county to enter into an agreement, as Megan said, with the Pennsylvania Resources Council to allow for glass recycling. A number of years ago at the Blue Bins, you were able to recycle glass, but market conditions dictated that it just was not cost effective to do that any longer. It's my understanding.
Correct.
And the Blue Bins that we have around the county now accept cardboard and paper. But this does give folks an opportunity who perhaps have accumulated some glass that they'd like to have recycled. This will give them that opportunity. So
Yes.
our thanks to you and Jerry and John.
Yes,
Can't
thank
forget
you.
John. This is Resolution 48. Would one of my colleagues care to make a motion for its approval?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Do either of you have any more questions for Megan? Okay, thank you. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yeah.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Megan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all your hard work. Have a great day. Our next proposed resolution would be number 49. This is a follow-up to the discussion we had at last week's meeting. Mr. Strobel, Chad Strobel, is with us again today. He, of course, is our public safety director, and we appreciate Chad joining us. Last week, we talked about looking into undertaking a study in conjunction with the county of Mercer to look at the pros and cons of perhaps merging what would be known as our public safety answering points, which is the 911 system. What we're doing today would be authorizing Mr. Strobel to move forward with applying to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for funding to complete the study. One of the things that we asked Chad to do, and anytime we ask Chad to do something, it always gets done quickly, and this was no exception. We did ask Chad to advise us as to what other counties in the Commonwealth have gone together jointly to have a more than one county answering point for 911 calls. And the information that Chad provided us is as follows. There are a number of counties that have done this. Columbia County and Montour County, excuse me, in the central part of the state, have a consolidation that is known as the East Central Emergency Network. The counties of Snyder and Union, which are also in central Pennsylvania, have gone together. They have consolidated, and they have what is known as the Central Susquehanna Regional 911. Tioga and Potter counties have an interesting arrangement. Tioga County has a contract with Potter County to provide 911 services, and in exchange for that, Potter County provides GIS support to Tioga County. Lycoming, and by the way, those two counties are up on the northern border with New York State. Lycoming County in central Pennsylvania is contracted with Sullivan County. They border one another in central Pennsylvania, and Lycoming County, which is a larger county compared to Sullivan, provides 911 services for Sullivan County. Elk County has an agreement with Cameron County. They have an agreement whereby Elk County provides 911 services for Cameron County. And Forest County, which is one of the smaller counties in terms of the state's population, they have an interesting arrangement where some of the calls for 911 for Forest County are taken by Warren County, and some of the calls for Forest County for 911 are taken by Clarion County. So Chad, thank you for giving us this information. It's very helpful. We had a lengthy discussion last week, but do you have anything more to add today in terms of us moving forward to allow you, and I assume it would be in conjunction with Mr. Genetti in Mercer County, assuming his commissioners have given him the green light, to proceed with reaching out to PEMA? Anything you need to add?
No, I just want to stress, and it's something that we all stressed last week, this is just a study. We haven't made any decisions yet. We're not, tearing down buildings and moving in next week or anything. This is a study. It's going to look at everything: our technology, our staffing, our geography, call volumes, financials. It's going to dive into everything and give us a good idea of if this is feasible or not. That's the feasibility study. But we're not moving forward with anything right now other than a study to see if it's possible, and if it is possible, if it's really of any benefit to anybody. So I mean, you can do anything, but if it's not going to be a benefit to Mercer or Lawrence County, then it's kind of pointless to do. So this is just we're going to apply for the funding, special funding from Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. If we get that, look for quotes and try to find a consultant to complete the study, bring that back, and really reach out to the public and first responders to try to put any reservations at ease. It's not as bad as it sounds. Technologically speaking, it's almost in place already. We're just two separate counties and two separate buildings and groups of people. But as far as the technology goes, we're already right there on the cusp of being one place. So that's all.
Thank you. And as we noted last week, you enjoy a strong working relationship with your counterpart in Mercer, Mr. Genetti. My fellow commissioners and I enjoy a good, solid working relationship with the three commissioners up in Mercer. So that's a helpful part of this. One thing I'd be curious to know, and I doubt you're able to answer this right now, I wouldn't expect you to. You were kind enough to find out where these consolidations have occurred, but maybe if you could check, and it's not urgent, but if you're talking to some of your folks at PEMA, I'd be interested in knowing if there have been counties that have looked into it and have chosen not to consolidate. So if that's something you could pose to them at some point.
We actually have a 911 advisory board meeting Thursday. Rich and I will be attending virtually, but we'll pose that and
Okay.
see if anybody has anything to share.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me see if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions or comments.
No, I think Chad answered everything that I was going to ask. The main thing we got to stress is it's just a study right now. We haven't made any decisions on doing anything besides a study.
Thank you for noting that, Dan. Commissioner Sanada.
Other than the study, there's been decisions made, and I know that Chairman, you had mentioned last week, Chad, we want to get input from our emergency responders out there, our fire chiefs, and our local elected officials as well. And I think that's important, and we'll see where it goes.
Thank you very much, Chris. Anything else, Chad, before we take a vote?
No, I'm looking forward to comments. I know WKBN last night aired a short clip interview with Commissioner Finley. I know Newcastle News has done Sharon Herald. And I got an email, last evening from KDKA that wants to do a interview. I'm gonna try to arrange that where Director Janetti and I can both be on. So we're kind of going together, but he said,
Right. That's a good idea.
I'll try to arrange that where Director Janetti and I can both handle that interview virtually and take care of that. So, but yeah, it's out there. So,
Very good. Yeah, we appreciate our local newspaper did write an article about it. We appreciate that they did that. You know, we want to keep the public informed as we move forward with this. So appreciate all your efforts. If Chris and Dan, if you gentlemen have no other questions for Chad, would one of you care to make a motion for proposed resolution 49?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you both, gentlemen, and if there happens to not be any other discussion, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yeah.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Chad, always good to have you here.
appreciate it. Thank you for the support.
Yes, sir. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Take care. We have a couple of administrative budget transfers that have been brought before us today. The first falls under the commissioner's budget. There's a request for a transfer of $10,000 from the commissioner's contingency line item into that of materials and supplies. The district attorneys, you mind if I do all three of them? We can vote
No, go
them
ahead.
as a group?
Sure.
Thank you. The district attorney's office is requesting a $2,900 transfer from their contingency line item into minor equipment. They need to purchase a computer and monitors to replace outdated ones. And then our Children and Youth Services office is asking for a $3,000 transfer from their contracted provider care line item into that of their medical expenses line item. Joe, anything over and above what's been listed here?
No, sir.
Okay. Chris, any questions about these three requests?
No.
Okay, thank you. And Dan, anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Gentlemen, would one of you care to make a motion to approve the requested transfers?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
I thank you both. We'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yeah.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Mhm.
Well, we drop all the way down to announcements. And as we normally do, we meet again next Tuesday, 10 o'clock, March 11, in this office, open to the public. And as we noted earlier, the County Planning Commission will not be meeting this month. And then 2 weeks from today, there will not be a public county commissioners meeting. We'll open the floor for public comment at this time. Does anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to say? Yes, Mrs. Burchak.
I just have a question about the consolidation. Is it a consolidation of the two 911 centers?
It's a study to determine the cost effectiveness in terms of, do you operate under one roof, or do you continue to operate separately but share in other expenses? To my understanding, it's a very wide open study to look at all options. And as Mr. Strobel stressed, no decisions are made until we actually have the study.
Right. I missed this story in the newspaper, so I'm just wondering what's the purpose of it. I'm sure there's a good one, but
Well, there's redundancies right now. You have a building here in Hickory Township, Lawrence County, where you have Lawrence County employees taking 911 calls. You drive up to Mercer County and you have the same situation. You have employees there that answer calls coming in from Mercer County. This study would look at ways to streamline that. The study might conclude that the current system is the best system, but they might also come up with some recommendations where, again, there might be some expenses that are incurred at both locations that perhaps could be brought together and result in a cost savings. Now, that's my understanding. I'm gonna see if Dan or Chris would want to add to that.
You're 100% right.
I agree with the chairman. That's exactly the way we understand it.
Okay, thank you. So again, first we gotta see if the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency will fund the study. That's what we did today. We gave Mr. Strobel the authorization to proceed with applying to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency because they have a line item in their budget where they are able to assist counties to undertake this study. And then my recollection is, and Chris or Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, if the funding comes through, then we would advertise for proposals for companies that would come in and conduct the study. And we'd have to do it in such a way that we would be in accord with the Mercer County Commissioners as far as who would be best suited to undertake the study. And I mean, one scenario that conceivably could happen, they may come back with recommendations and the three of us may like some of those recommendations, but possibly our friends in Mercer County might not, or vice versa. So that remains to be seen. So we'll take this all a step at a time.
Is Mercer County, are they involved in the study? I mean, are they seeking funds also?
Yes, this would be done jointly, and their Board of Commissioners have given authorization to Mr. Strobel's counterpart up there to work, to the two of them to work together on this.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Any other public comments at this time? Okay, hearing none. Thank you all. Closing comments from my fellow commissioners. Mr. Sanada.
No,
Okay, thank you, Chris, and we wish you safe travels back. Looks like the weather's gonna, I think, be okay on, I think you're coming back tomorrow?
correct.
Okay, well, I hope you have a safe trip back.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Kennedy, do you have any closing comments?
Good.
Okay, thank you. Joe, Vanessa, anything that we've maybe forgotten? Or, all right, well, thank you both. Once again, if Debbie Wachter is watching us, Debbie, we'll have your packet for you upstairs if you want to stop by and pick it up. We appreciate everybody being here today. There being no other business to be brought before this board, may I please have an adjournment motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, oppose the same sign. Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. David, thank you.